Ladies and gentlemen, I am KageKaze, and this is Path of Exile. Yes, what is Path of Exile, you might ask? Well, this is an action RPG made in the very same vein as Diablo and Torchlight. The difference, however, is that Path of Exile is going to be free to play. It is currently in open beta during this weekend. If you wish to participate, you will want to go to pathofexile.com. So, free to play. Well, that probably means one of the first questions on your minds is going to be, so does that mean this is pay to win? Well, they say they don't like the pay to win model, and they're going to try and keep it from being that. Currently, there's not too much you can get. Two of the options that are available immediately are to get extra stash tabs and extra character slots. However, they say at open beta, they're going to have a wide range of items available, including public stash tabs that can be viewable to other players for trade purposes, cosmetic pets, alternate skill effects, special animations such as taunts or victory animations, special paid leagues with custom game rules, guild storage, alternate item skins and visual effects, special cosmetic item properties like extra gore, and item dyes. So they're looking to go the cosmetic route. Honestly, I'm going to wish them luck with this, as cosmetic items I think are one of the best ways to do it. However, you sometimes need to have more than that to generate revenue, because not everybody really cares about cosmetics. Some people want to be able to buy some items and abilities, and as long as you create a way that any player that can buy the items with money can also get them in the game, it might just take a little bit longer. That usually works. I cite Tribes Ascend for this model. In Tribes Ascend, you can buy whatever the heck you want and buy it early, but people that don't want to put money into the game can still get those same items. It just takes them a little bit longer, and any item you get still needs to be upgraded by actually playing the game. So let's look here at Path of Exile. We are given 6 character classes. Now, I'm going to be honest, from what I've seen in the description of this game, is the classes really don't make a huge difference, as all of your skills are given to you through gems. The differences be what primary focuses they have and where they start off on the passive skill tree. Now, I could be completely wrong about this. We'll find out as I go, as I haven't really played the game. So let's at least take a look at what we have here. We have our Templar. Now, the Templar is one of the hybrid classes of the game. He focuses on strength and magic abilities, so his primary attributes being strength and intelligence. Next to him here is the Shadow. He is the intelligence and dexterity combination class. By him is the strength class user, the Marauder. Pretty much analogous to the Barbarian. He is going to be your heavy hitter. He wants to be focusing on strength. He's going to hit hard. He's a bruiser. Next to him, the Ranger. This is the dexterity class. By her is the final hybrid class, the Duelist, who focuses on a combination of strength and dexterity. So he could be an interesting class, as he pretty much forgoes any magic for the 2 primary attacking attributes, as strength is usually physical damage, dexterity is usually finesse and dodge. And then last we have the pure intelligence user, the Witch. And I'm going to go ahead and pick the Witch, as I'm kind of interested in going the magic route in this game to see how it works out. Now, once you've picked a class, you can choose a league here. And as of right now, these are all in the beta. These will probably change at release. But we have Legacy, which is where old characters go after large balance changes have been made. Hardcore Legacy, same thing with hardcore characters, where they go after large balancing changes. Here we have a private league for their staff to test. Now, default is a default game mode. That's what you would think of when you play like Diablo for the first time. That is your basic game mode. And then hardcore, again, much like Diablo, if your character dies, they're moved to, well, actually it's not permadeath apparently. Characters killed in the Hardcore League is moved to Default League. So that's interesting. They make it they're a little more lenient on Hardcore. So you go to this Hardcore League here, and you can play in that all you want. The moment you die, you're knocked down to Default. So in a way, your character is pretty much killed off, but you can still play him It's just going to be in a different realm with different rules. So that's kind of interesting. Not entirely sure how I personally feel about that, as I've never really been a person who plays hardcore characters. But I suppose if you wanted to try hardcore without worrying about losing everything you've had, that's your chance there. So basically, everything that your character had would be, of course, removed from the hardcore ranking and just put on the default area, so you would be able to trade with your regular default characters. And here they have something interesting. It's a 2-week hardcore race. You have to, of course, look into the beta forum here to look into that, and I haven't really looked into that yet. So that's kind of a nice, a very quick ladder league, as it were. So let's go ahead and go into the default, and I'm not sure if I can get my name or not. I'm just going to go ahead and go with Starflare, as that could go for either male or female characters. The problem being is that character names are reserved in this game. Yes, character names are completely reserved, meaning if someone picks the name that you wanted, I'm sorry, you're going to have to pick a new one. Very unfortunate. But it looks like we're here on the beach. Now, the basic storyline of this, apparently, when you go to the character screen, they start talking to you about how you are giving a second chance at life here. So you are apparently a prisoner who has done something, and they're basically throwing you out in the wild. See if you can survive. So I found my first item, a wand, and I've got a gentleman who looks like he's been impaled. Yes, he has. You and I, we're the only ones that made it. Not counting my quiet friend here. Why didn't they just bloody execute us back in Orith? This little splinter sticking out of me? Missed all the important bits. Thought I saw smoke at those ruins at the beach. Give me some help, and I might just... Ooh, you might just die. Boom. Alright, Alt key, much like Diablo, helps you find items on the ground. This is my basic wand. That fires really quick. It's cool. Alright, let's look at the basic layout here, shall we? Kind of see where we're at. Honestly, if you've played any Diablo game, this is immediately familiar to you. You've got your mini-map in the upper right-hand corner, which of course you can turn that off. Health globe in the lower left, mana globe in the lower right. This is a game that uses mana for every character class, so don't expect your classes to have different resource gathering. However, there may be passives that do something to that. Again, I haven't gotten deep enough into that to really tell for sure. Difference here too, though, is that you get a mana shield, and that is improved with your intelligence. Haven't seen that yet, so that'll be interesting to get into. At the very bottom is your experience bar. You have a transaction button here, which will open a web page to the store so you can buy things. And here you have your primary weapon binds: left mouse, middle mouse, right mouse, and of course you can use the QWERT buttons for additional skills. So as you look here, that's 8 skill slots in total that you can have hotkeyed. So that's quite a bit of skills that you can use. So speaking of skills, we'll get to that in a moment when I get to my inventory. So you've got your option panel here. You can change several aspects of the UI and your keys. You can change all of these hotkey items down here. Here's my inventory panel. So yeah, I'll go ahead and take a look at this. What I have right now is I have picked up a Fireball rune, level 1. And as you can see, level 1, mana cost of 5, has a 6% crit chance. Unleashes a burning ball of fire towards a target which explodes, dealing damaging nearby foes. It does 4 to 7 fire damage. I cannot use this ability right now because it is not socketed. The wand I picked up, has sockets. Yes, so now here's the thing about sockets in this game. You'll see they are color-coded. If you're used to World of Warcraft, you know all about color-coded sockets. The difference here is you cannot put a gem into a socket that doesn't belong to its color. See, I cannot put this in the red or green. I can only put it in the blue. The moment I've done that opens up this ability here. As you can see, I now have my fireball. I can use my right click, whoosh, there's my fireball, and that was a pretty cool animation. Like Diablo 2, you can swap weapons out here with the 1 and 2 slot. That should be, in Diablo it was the W key. I think here it's X. Okay, yes, it is the X button. So you can, on the fly, real quick, swap. Keep in mind, if you have a spell on a weapon that is being swapped out, you notice here, you lose it. You do not get to use it unless it is actively equipped. Interesting thing here is you have potions, and these potions, you see here, life recovery is 60. You've got a recovery time of 6 seconds, so it takes about 6 seconds for it to take full effect. But it has charges, 21 charges here, and a drink doesn't take 1 charge, it takes 7. Now, the interesting thing about this game is that when you use a charge in a potion, those charges get refilled as you kill monsters. So you don't have to go out and buy a ton of potions. It will always keep refilling. So what this tells me immediately is as I'm playing, I should not be afraid to use my potions for health, or over here as you can see, mana, same thing. This has 40 charges and each drink uses 14, so that's a bit different. I'm going to probably want to find a better potion there. I also have these Scrolls of Wisdom, which are basically identify scrolls, so we've got that. Alright, let's look further here. Let me go ahead and open the map. The map is the one thing I really don't care about too much here. It looks a lot like the Diablo 2 map in that it's got the cross-shaped icon for your position, and it's very abstract. You know, a lot of things here you really can't tell just by looking at it what these items are. I mean, certain things, like you can see the driftwood. Like the water is kind of a green mesh pattern, I guess. There we go. Let's just kill those guys. That would have been probably quicker with fireballs. So I think the map, not my favorite part here so far, but it's forgivable as it basically gives you everything you need to know about the general surrounding area. Can't seem to... Oops, let me use the arrow key. Okay, I can use the arrow keys to move it. I can't seem to drag it, though. Alright, please forgive the little hiccup there. I am back a bit here. As you can see, apparently I got knocked off the server. That's going to happen. This is beta, or... Yeah, this is beta territory here. So, anything can happen. There are a lot of people on. So we have to just be aware of these things and know that there's going to be problems as you play. There's going to be bugs. I'm fairly certain a lot of this is not finished yet. Just looking at some of the things that I've seen while trying out the game a bit before recording. Let's kind of take a look here. A bit more we have here is here's the character panel. You can see you do maintain the primary attributes, intelligence, strength, and dexterity. It doesn't look like you get to put in attribute points, so they have not kept the attribute system of Diablo 2. But you can take a look at what each one does. So each stat gives you something for having 2 and 5 of that stat, except for dex, that's 1 and 5. So 2 intelligence gives me 1 mana, 5 intelligence gives me 1% energy shield, and that's the thing over here when you see over the shield where it says 0 out of 0 there. Strength 2 gives you 1 life, 5 gives you 1% melee physical damage. So for this character, I'm not going to care about getting it in chunks of 5, I'm going to care about how many chunks of 2 I get for life. Here we have dexterity, 1 is +2 accuracy, and 5 is +1% evasion. You have all your primary stats here. You can go through each of these tabs, look at them. Unfortunately, none of these things really have a tooltip to give you an idea of a bit more detail here. But they're pretty self-explanatory, I think, in what they do, so that shouldn't be too bad. You can also look at all the skills you have available to your character, and it breaks down these skills, and even breaks them down when you mouse over them as far as your damage per second, casting time, mana cost. So if you want to be, if you're someone that likes to min-max or likes to crunch stats a lot, you should get a lot of what you need out of a lot of these tooltips. Alright, what I want to do here is, first, one thing I like about this is here's the social panel. You can create public parties in this game. If you've ever played, I believe it was Warhammer's MMO, you would know the thing about public parties. You can actually create a party, don't have to have anyone in it, just you. But you could open up to the public and say, hey, anybody of, like, say, this level range, you can join me and we'll adventure together. And then they can drop in and out of your party at any time they want to. And it was usually useful for doing public quests that were out in the world. So you can actually just start a party, not even worry about it, don't have to actively recruit, just leave it up, people will come in and out as they want. Now, as I haven't gotten too far, I'm not sure how the world works in that regards. And as you see, there we are, we're getting some messages about login queues. But I have a feeling that I won't see other players in the world outside of town unless they're in my party. So it's not like an MMO where you're going to see people constantly around you. So in that regard, you might think of this like Guild Wars. In Guild Wars, you saw people in main town hubs, and if they were in your party, they would join you while you adventured in the world, but you would not see other players other than that. So here I've run myself close out of mana here, so I'm going to go ahead and use that potion. I think I found another one, a small mana flask, just like this one. Oh, well, let's, I can't drag and drop it here, but can I do it on my inventory? Yeah, there we go. Very nice. I found a melee weapon. Here's something that I've heard is that you can use any weapon and armor as any class that you want. You are not restricted in this game at all. And I honestly do believe that also means in abilities. I could learn every ability as this character. So honestly, when you think of that, what I think of immediately is Diablo 1. Because that's what Diablo 1 did. You had character classes you could choose, but in the end of the game, you could honestly learn everything. Know everything. I saw warriors in full plate casting high-level magic spells. Of course, some of those were hackers, but hey. The ability was there even to legitimate players. Alright, let me go ahead and use part of my health potion. Alright, now here's the thing. Here, I'm going to show you the passive tree. Kind of show you just how in-depth this can get. And this is where your character classes will diverge here. This is the passives skill panel. Alright, let me go ahead and bring that up here. And what you're seeing here is just kind of a small portion of it. And what you're looking at here is, this is my starting zone. This is my character. I'm going to zoom out. This is the entire skill tree for passives. Every character gets the same tree, or web as it's been called online on their forums. Each of these little circles here, and over here, and you can see here, here, these are all the character classes. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 right there. And there's one in the center, which I'm not entirely sure what this one in the center is, if it's going to be a class that's going to be revealed later, or if it's something else, or if it's just there for aesthetics. But each character class starts at different parts of this web, so when you start out, you just go into mine, you get different choices. Right now I only have 2 choices. I can do spell damage, 10% increased spell damage, or mana regen, 40% increased mana regeneration rate. Alright, so I don't have any ability points yet. It does look like you're going to be able to respec. I don't know if that's going to be anything through transactions or if it's something you gain as you level. I'm not entirely sure, so I don't know how much freedom I'm going to have to explore, but I am going to have some choices. So, alright, hey, I found my first unidentified item. This is the rusted cask. One thing I've noticed with items, you'll see that there is a quality feature there. See, quality plus 10% means it has additional armor, 10% more armor than usual. You will actually find items in the world that will improve quality for these things. And you just right click on it and use it. Let's go ahead and identify. Wow, 9% armor, 13 to maximum life, 9 cold resistance, 7% increased block and stun recovery, and it reflects damage. That's not bad. Let's go ahead and put that on. It's also got a red and a green slot. This is important, honestly, these slots, because you're going to have to trade these gems in and out of weapons and armor to keep your skills. One thing that's interesting, I'm going to point out here, this link is important, because you can not only get skills like this blue, oh, and just before I get too far, you can remove them just by right-clicking. There is no penalty for that. They want you to experiment. So I can remove this out of any piece of gear that I want. These links, though, you're going to get gems that will enhance abilities. Honestly, I can only equate this to the skill runes of Diablo 3. Because you're going to get some that might give you multi-projectiles. So, for example, they talked about Fireball here. There is an enhancement where I can fire more than one fireball at a time. So there's others though. So it's honestly the rune system of Diablo 3 is the closest analog I have to it. But you of course can trade in and out, and here's the thing, is you can have multiple enhancements for one skill, and you can have multiple skills attached to one enhancement. It depends on how many links are in your armor. Right now I only have the one with a single link. Smash them barrels, girl. Good job, good job. Found a driftwood club. Okay, well I've officially leveled. So what does leveling get me? Well, leveling gives me stats, of course. Also gives me passives. So let's... okay, good. I'm going to point this out now. On my right-hand side, you'll see that this bar has come up. I am really close to leveling up my fireball gem. Yes, your gems will level. They gain about 10% of your experience, I believe. And as they level, they will gain new abilities and will have different requirements. Some will require strength, int, dex, or just have a level requirement. So we're going to see what happens to fireball when I hit level 2 with the gem. So my current level, my personal level, is already 2. Fireball is still level 1 though. And I do not have to use it to gain the experience. As you can see here, I'm just going to go ahead and kill. You can see the bars going up, even though I'm not using the fireball skill. It's based on experience, not usage. There it is, level 2. Pardon me one second. Alright, very good. So let's look at this. Right now, all it has is 4 to 7 fire damage. Let's level it up. Okay, go to my inventory. And now it's 5 to 8. So what's happened is the damage has gone up. Now, what it gets is going to be different things based on what skill it is. For example, the only thing I've run across so far that I've leveled was Cleave, and I think a Double Strike, actually. And those got a bit more damage, but I have a feeling you're going to see more than just damage as you gain more skills. I do like the animation for the fireball cast. Does make it so you have to hold still for just a brief second before you can move. And it does have an explosion on it, so it can hit multiple targets, as you can see here. I just hit both of those zombies. Or drowned, or whatever they are. Apparently I can miss. Now that is one thing. Ooh, another mana flask. That is one thing I really don't miss as a mechanic, is being able to miss. I understand it in MMOs, but action games like this, I'm not sure I care for it. Alright, kill a Hillock. And use my mana potion so I can keep spamming fireballs. Oh, he healed. So here's the balancing part, right? I'm spamming these potions. And as I was killing monsters, I pretty much had an endless supply of potions and mana. But as you can see here, my potions are not refilling. Why? Because I'm not killing. I'm doing damage, but I'm not killing. And apparently killing him made them go up to 50%. Very nice. Very, very nice. Alright, I want to show here real quick, as you can look at the items here. Obviously, it's the standard conventions here of white and blue, much like Diablo, where white is very common and blue is magical. But the thing I wanted to point out is when you're looking at the names, you see these two dots here. You got two red dots, a blue, red, and two green here. Those dots pretty much equate that they have a slot in them that you can put items. So if I were to basically mouse over that, you can see on the right hand side there's a dagger with two greens and they're linked together. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like there's a way to tell if they're linked just by the name. So let's go ahead and get our items, and let's go ahead and I'm going to get some of them to sell, and we're going to get to base camp here. Alright, this is the first base camp. I will probably go ahead and stop it here since I spent a lot of time going over the features of the game. What I'm going to go over real quick is here's your stash. You see I have 4 tabs. Oh, it looks like I have a shield now based on my intelligence. See, I can take 12 damage worth of my shield before it starts affecting my life. So, unlike the sorceress of Diablo 2, I don't have to put up a shield, I just pretty much get one. So what I'll show you here is, this is something I've noticed. If you mouse over a location that you can go out, it glows this really bright white. My guess is that this is just placeholder, and when the game is ready to come out, they will probably put in textures and transparencies so that it's not just a pure white. It'll probably glow a little bit. And it may not be right away. I mean, we're talking about a free-to-play game, so I don't know what kind of budget they're looking at right now, and they've already done a lot of really great work here, it looks like, for a game that's not expecting anyone to pay for it right away. Well, this has been Path of Exile from Grinding Gear Games. I definitely wish them the best of luck on this. I think they've done a lot of quality work here. I look forward to exploring it further.